Hi, I'm Monica from Numberly. When people say financial statements should be included in your financial plan or financial model or in your pitch deck, what exactly do they mean? So when we refer to financial statements, they mean three different statements in particular. The first one is an income statement, and this is also sometimes called a P&L or profit and loss, forecast or statement. You may have heard either of those names interchangeably. It also refers to a cash flow forecast, and then finally a balance sheet. So those are the three financial statements that should be included in your financial model. And drilling down a bit in terms of the components of starting with the income statement, you may have different revenue sources, and each of those revenue streams needs to be represented in your income statement or P&L, because each of these is generating revenue. And in our case, there are actually two different types of revenue that we account for. One is called recurring revenue, that is any subscription or SaaS-based revenue that is essentially repeating. So you have subscribers and they pay you every month, or they pay you an annual license. So you have recurring revenue, the different sources. So let's say, for example, you have annual licenses, but you also have upsell products and services that you offer in addition to the core subscription. So that is also included in upsell revenues and upsell MRR. And those two go into what's called recurring revenue, and we then forecast out the recurring revenue for core subscriptions and for upsell revenue. You may also have one-off revenue. In the case of the sample model, it's blank, but this might be something like consulting fees. You may have products that you sell. So those are all one-off purchases that are not necessarily recurring, so they need to be treated a little bit differently. The sum of those two gives you your revenue forecast annually, and in our models, if you scroll to the right, all of this information is available monthly as well. And then you're going to have some costs that are divided into costs that are direct, or sometimes they're called COGS, or cost of goods sold. We call them direct costs, because COGS is a concept that's typically used for like manufacturing or production or sourcing. So if you're a digital tech platform, you can call them direct costs. Basically what that means is the revenue minus the costs that are associated with delivering that revenue gives you the difference, or gross profit, also sometimes called gross margin. So in this particular case, the direct costs are hosting costs. So you need to pay, for example, Amazon Web Services or other hosting fees in order to support your subscription sales that are generating MRR. And then below the gross profit line, you'll have basically these three categories. You'll have sales and marketing expenses, general and admin expenses, and research and development or R&D expenses. Those get subtracted from the gross profit or gross margin, giving you your EBITDA forecast. Or what does that acronym stand for? It's basically earnings before interest and taxes. And if in the case you have depreciation and amortization because you've either got loans or you've got capital expenses, capital assets that need to be depreciated over time, then you may have also depreciation and amortization costs. Because this is a purely tech platform, there's no depreciation, there's no amortization. So you can see that the EBITDA is the same thing as EBIT, so earnings before interest and taxes. If you have any outstanding loans, that will also get deducted in terms of the interest expense, any other expenses, and any other income. And then that gives you your net profit forecast. You will pay taxes on your net profit, depending on where your company is domiciled, what your tax rate might be. And then the difference between those two gives you your profit after tax line. These kinds of margins for a digital tech platform are quite reasonable. So one of the things you want to make sure is that your profit and loss statement, your income statement forecast basically looks credible from an investor standpoint, and these margins do. And then here's your net profit margin as well, which also looks quite reasonable and healthy and credible from the standpoint of you're sort of losing money in year one, breaking even in year two, and then growing thereafter. So one of the important things when you present your financial model to potential investors is going to be, are these numbers credible? And can you defend them in a logical and sort of well thought out way? So I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please go to the chat bot on Numbly.io. Thanks very much.